Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Lane. You hear an echo?
No.
Oh, I thought I did. Okay. So today we're doing our Love During Lockup season finale recap. I know it's been a minute, but we're back and we're ready to review it. So we're gonna start, huh?
Ready for it to be over. These people, I feel better about my own life when I watch it, but sad at the same time.
I know it is kind of sad, but it's funny. It's really funny. So we're gonna start with Tenny and Rob. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right. It is funny.
So we're going to start with Tenny and Rob. That's how the show started this time. I want to say this week, but it was actually a couple of weeks ago. But so it starts off with Tenny and Rob. And Rob is ready to get out of prison. Tenny and her son. Let me go ahead and show my picture of Tenny and Rob. She's riding with her son to go pick Rob up. And they're just kind of talking about how life is going to be once he's out of prison. They get to prison and, she's all excited. She runs, she jumps out of the truck, and they have this.
It was weird. The girl wasn't there.
Yeah, the daughter wasn't there. She had something else to do. So it was just the son and Tenny to go pick him up. So they have this great reunion and Rob gets out. And one thing I have to say about Rob is that, a lot of times if you watch anything from, Love During Lockup or Love After Lockup before, these people get out of prison and the first thing they want to do is go to the strip club. Or the first thing they want to do is, go get some alcohol and drink with their friends, or they want to go out and party and have a good time. Rob was more like, okay, I really want to spend time with my family. I'm happy to be out to be with my children. I'm just so excited to be part of a family again. And I thought that he was really genuine and sincere when he said that. I don't know. What did you think about him making those comments? I just really believed him.
I thought get a room as they were tonguing each other down in front of the little boy. I thought it's strange that he wanted to go on a walk by himself initially. Like, why couldn't you walk when you get home? But in terms of them so far, I think they have the best shot.
Yeah.
Because he has money.
That, and like I said, I think that he's sincere in what he's saying, I think he really does want to, have that family life with Tenny and the kids. I think he's excited about doing that. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. They did cut back to, and I think I'm just going to go through their whole story. They didn't really give much else other than that, like real time for them being together, just them in the car, him getting out of the car, wanting to take a breather. He's been in prison for 16 years. So I guess, I don't know what that's like. So maybe you want to get out and breathe some air. I don't know. I really don't know what that's like.
It was weird to me.
Maybe that's what they do. But they did show pictures of them later on when they did their follow-up, and it said that, they were enjoying their family life. They showed pictures of them vacationing together. They say Rob wants to get his CDL. So whatever he was doing to make money in prison, I guess that didn't translate to out in real life, because now he wants to drive trucks, right? That's what you would think, right?
No, if you have been paying the bills, which probably means that you were doing something illicit in prison to make the money. Like I told you, my friend's boyfriend did some strange things for change while in prison. That's how he was sending her money sometimes to pay the rent out. If you had such a viable business January 31st when you were in prison and February 4th, you need a new career because you're out of prison, that says that it probably wasn't something legitimate.
Well, that's what I was thinking initially. It wasn't legitimate, but then people were saying, oh no, he has a company with his brother and it's doing really well. So that's why I thought, okay, well, maybe he does have the company with his brother. Maybe I'm just naive and this could be true.
Well, then why isn't he still, like, now that you're out, it would seem like you would go full force because this company has provided for you and your family.
This is true. So yeah, it is a little funny that he wants to now get his CDL. I don't know. I don't know what this man was doing in prison to get this money.
Right.
I don't know.
Probably like some toilet wine or something.
Hooch.
Something. I don't put anything past anybody.
So yeah, we'll see. Again, they're not going to be on the next season, so we're not going to get a
They're
follow-up.
not?
Mm-mm.
Why? Oh, probably because they don't want to ruin their relationship.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see where it moved forward and how they, do things out in the real world. But yeah, they're not going to be on the next season. And they could be on like a subsequent season after this one. But yeah, they weren't on the immediate next season. So I don't know.
They'll probably make it as long as she is fine with being controlled.
Right. Yeah, because it's going to get worse. But they seem to be loving life. They were having a good time on their pictures. I mean, pictures and social media, not necessarily true, but they seem to be doing okay.
Good luck.
And that's all we have for Tenny and Rob. But next, we're going to go to Andrew and Candace, our favorite couple.
Is that the treasure troll? I mean, the garden gnome?
That would be Garden Gnome and Candace, yeah.
They're not my favorite couple.
So in this scene, we have Andrew, and he's walking around like a sad sack in the apartment by himself. And Candace is out at the Hottie Salon. That's the name of it. The Hottie Salon, getting her hair done. This is apparently an appointment that Andrew made for her beforehand, right? And so she's having a conversation. She calls her PO. And she's telling the PO, hey, I have this apartment that I can stay in. Is that okay? And the PO says, yeah, that's fine. She said, I'm staying there with my fiance, who's not a felon. She makes sure to say that. She's staying with her fiance that's not a felon. And she wants to know if it's okay. And she can check in because the fiance is going to be there all the time with her, right? Which we clearly know there's a lie because she's sending the man back to New Jersey or wherever.
Right. I mean, what do we not get about this methy criminal? She looks methy. She acts methy. You were racing and stealing people's cars, and now you basically stolen the garden gnome's car. She's really a trash ass individual.
She's a trash human. Yeah, she is a horrible person. So she lies to the PO, and she then has to call Andrew to make sure that he keeps up with the same lie. So he has to call the PO too and say, yes, he's going to be there, right? So she also wants to make sure when she has this conversation with him that, yes, she can keep the apartment, but not only that she can just keep the apartment, but she wants no strings attached. So he says to her, oh, you can keep the apartment, but, are we still going to be together? And she's like, look, bottom line, whether or not we're together or not, I just want this apartment. And I need you to say right now that I'm going to be able to keep this apartment.
And the Louis Vuitton.
Huh?
And the car and the Louis Vuitton.
Right. She wants to make sure she can keep everything with no strings attached and not have to be with him, and he gives in. He's like, yeah, that's okay. And then she says, I probably won't see you, right? Like I won't even go and say goodbye to you. So you need to leave the key to the apartment in the truck so I can get it. And he agrees to this. He's like, well, I really want to see you. And she's like, yeah, that's not a good idea. We're not going to see each other. Like, that's just not going to happen. She complains about him being needy the whole time, which I get. The man is needy. But lady, you're taking his money.
He is paid. And trust me, what he's paying, your coochie coupons are not worth it. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's really what this is. This is a promise to pay for coochie. And he has, packaged it in an engagement. But in reality, he wanted wild coochie. And what he got was a scammer.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So they show him leaving. He writes her a little love letter. And, this is just what they do. She's like, fine with it. But, they're showing you clips of her in the car with someone else, alluding to the fact that she is with someone else without actually showing you the person. But that's the person we talked about last time, which was Ishmael, right? The person that she eventually marries. So we know that she's with him.
No, hold on. Let me look this up because I didn't get to watch the last one. I'm looking it up while you're talking.
Yeah. So Ishmael, her name is Candace. I don't know the last name, but you remember last time I showed you the picture from her Instagram or her Facebook page I'd found.
So she used this man.
She used him. And they actually showed a clip where in the beginning, when she was picked up from prison and she was in the truck and she gets the phone, apparently the first person that she sends a text to is Ishmael. And at that point, she realizes that Ishmael is out of prison and that there's a chance for them. And all bets were off for her and Andrew at that point. You know, you can just see the realization in her face. This man is back and that's who I want to be with. And that's just it. So she's sitting in the truck with Ishmael. And they kind of show, they fast forward 3 months later, right? So Andrew has left. He's left her the car. He's left her the apartment. And they fast forward 3 months later. He's back in New Jersey. And he is contemplating getting a tattoo of a letter that she wrote to him while she was in prison on himself. An entire letter. I'm talking like, 6 to 8 sentences, a paragraph. Like it's a letter that she wrote. And he says, I want to get this tattoo because it's so wonderful. And it's just amazing that she wrote me this letter. And I just truly believe this and things are going to work out. Meanwhile, back in Nevada, I think is where she is. She and Ishmael are riding in a car together.
I'm sorry. I'm reading up on Ishmael. Sorry. It'll have to be a trigger warning, but I'm listening.
For Ishmael?
It's bad.
Ooh, I want to know.
No, I mean, finish telling me because I didn't get to see that part of the show.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so Ishmael's sitting in the car and, he is holding her hand, blowing smoke in her face. And she's telling the story of, I had to do what I had to do while I was in prison to be okay. And Ishmael's like, yeah, okaying and co-signing the fact that she's had to use this man for Ishmael because apparently she had to marry him because they're both felons. And the only way that they could be together was if she married him. And so that's what she did. And
Ishmael.
So then, yeah, Ishmael.
Why do you have to be married to a felon? I don't get it.
I don't know that part. I just know that that's what she said, that the reason that they got married as quickly as they did was because they were both felons and they had to be married. Maybe because she's on probation or whatever it is that she's on, where she's having to go to that halfway house that she had to go to. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
In March of 2017, Ishmael was sentenced to 1 to 4 years in prison for a felony count of attempted possession of a stolen vehicle. He was also sentenced to 1 to 6 years for felony burglary. His probation was revoked in February 2019, stemming from his conviction, and then again in January 2021. He sounds like a real keeper, and she'll definitely not be back on the meth hanging with him. Ishmael was sentenced to 1 to 4 years in prison in April after he was convicted of a felony charge of possession of a firearm by a felon. February 2021, Ishmael was sentenced again for felony possession of a firearm by a felon. According to Knob, that wasn't what I was wincing at. Ishmael was stabbed, tortured, left for dead after drug deal. Ishmael made local headlines in 2016 after he was nearly died in a brutal attack over drug money. According to court documents, 3 men and a woman stabbed 22-year-old Ishmael multiple times in his chest, back, and arm, and also slashed his neck. They also removed multiple fingernails and attempted to cut off his pinky finger. During the torture session, which was reportedly over $300. So you're not even a good big-time drug dealer.
Right, I was about to say that. You're not even good at being a drug dealer.
Ishmael was reportedly able to hop to a sliding glass door and break it with a wooden rod. A woman who was driving by saw smoke coming from the house. She pulled over and got out of her vehicle before throwing a rock through the window in hopes of determining whether or not anyone was inside. The woman heard a cry from help from the backyard. She walked around the house and found Ishmael with his hands, knees, and ankles bound with a cord. The woman and 2 males pulled Ishmael to the front yard where she used Ishmael's shirt to apply pressure. So basically, you're a small-time crack meth dealer. That's crazy.
Probably supplying it to Candace.
And you've gotten married to him, but you're on the show trying to blow smoke up our ass like you were so invested in your child.
And she kept that apartment to be with him. Like, there's no doubt that this man moved into that apartment with her and drove that truck around.
Right. Because he's also stealing cars too. Right.
So they're birds of a feather. They belong together.
They belong back in prison. That's where they belong.
And the thing that got me, as they're driving, he's, smoking something. He's blowing smoke in her face. And she's like, ooh, that's so sexy. And I was like, this is the most cringe moment. Like, who just blows smoke in your face and you think that's wonderful? Oh, that's sexy. No, it's not. No, it's not, Candace.
I just think it's so crazy that you were telling this man you can't be touched. Like, you literally are on television making yourself look like an asshole for what is the purpose? Like, why would you do that? Did she hope that maybe she'll get a spinoff with Ismail for next season?
I don't know. I mean, there is no prisoners both after lockup. Like, I don't know. Like, what would their show be?
Just what you just said.
2 prisoners after lockup? Like, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe that's what she was hoping for, because it's not smart to divulge that you really are an asshole.
And a scammer. Like, nobody would trust you.
And her hottie makeover didn't make her hot.
No, it didn't. She thought she had it going on after that makeover, though.
You couldn't have told her nothing.
No. And she was probably en route to go see Ishmael at that point.
She strikes me as the person, like, when you're saying she's blowing smoke up her face, this is going to be a little foul. She strikes me as the kind of person that says, oh, doesn't matter. Nothing could stop us from doing what we're about to do. Absolutely nothing. And y'all can read between the lines. That's the kind of girl she strikes me as. And Ismail, the small-time meth head drug dealer, seems like the type of guy that would say sure. And I'll just leave it at that.
I'm going to have to agree with your whole analysis of the 2 of them. They are dirty. They are trashy. And they're scammers. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's going to be long before the 2 of them are back locked up again.
That's so gross. Okay.
But in the end, Andrew did finally break up with Candace. He took back the truck, broke the lease. Well, let me say this. I don't think he broke up with her. I think she broke up with him. I think she's the one who called and actually broke up with him. Let me clarify. She broke up with him, but he did then take back the truck and take back the apartment. She kept the ring. And they made it appear as if she used the ring for this relationship and marriage. She says she didn't, but on the show, she was still wearing it while they were together. So we'll just leave that there.
I really do feel like the Garden Gnome should go and get like some serious therapy. It said a lot that none of his family filmed with him for this. So this was probably him going rogue. And it's really sad. You know, I crack jokes, but this is trash. Like this woman is trash. She gives prisoners a bad name.
What else would he think would happen, like just going after someone who is in prison for the crimes that this woman is committing and not knowing anything about her? Like, you are too green and naive to go for somebody who is, you know, as street as Candace is, right? Like, he doesn't.
He wanted a bad girl. I told you he wanted a bad girl. He's not going to the local library trying to pick up Molly, who's putting up the books. He wanted this woman, and he got what he got.
Yeah. So that was Andrew and Candace. Mm-hmm. We're going to move on to Ayana and Jamal. So Ayana has gotten out of her 15-day prison stint or jail stint. I don't know what it was, but she is out. And she is, you know, on her way back home, or she wants to be on her way back home, but her grandmother's supposed to pick her up. And the grandmother, you know, she calls and she's like, hey, you know, this was scheduled, you know, where are you? And the grandma's like, look, I'm at work and then I got to pick up your daughter. So I'll be on my way when I'm on my way. And so she's about to get into it with the grandmother and be like, you know, well, why aren't you coming to pick me up? Or, you know, why aren't you on your way over here? And the grandma's like, basically, I have a life and you did this to yourself. So you can wait outside till I get there. And that's just it. The grandmother doesn't play.
I agree.
And I'm team grandma.
Yeah, I agree with the grandma.
Yeah. So she decides she's going to walk and then calls Uber. Well, that's what you should have done in the first place. Call Uber. You know, just because you decided to do what you did and go to jail doesn't mean that your grandmother needs to stop what she's doing, i.e. helping you with your children, to come and pick you up. So she gets Uber and she meets up with the grandmother and the baby. And the baby is so cute. You know, she runs to her mom and she gives her a hug. You know, you can tell she missed her mother. Mm-hmm. And it was just a really sweet moment. And one thing that Ayana talked about at this time was basically that she wants to do better for her children. And hopefully it's true. You know, I don't know if she was sincere in what she was saying, because Ayana is kind of flighty and we know she's all about Jamal. But she did say in that moment that she doesn't want to go back to jail because of the children.
Is she using her stripper money to put away for the children? Like, what are you doing? What specifically do you mean you want to do better for your kids? Meaning you don't want to get high and endanger other people's lives anymore? Is that what she's saying?
No, it was specifically she doesn't want to go back to jail for the kids. So none of that. She's going to continue on with the rest of that. But the jail part, that's the part she doesn't want to do, because then she wants to be a better example for her children. So
dating a prisoner and stripping.
Yeah. So she and the grandmother and the baby go out to get something to eat. They get to the restaurant, and the first thing she tells the waiter is, I just got out of jail. Why, Ayana? Why are we telling the waiter this? So he's like, yeah, I'm sure you want something good to eat. So she orders her food. She changes clothes, and immediately Jamal calls her. She calls Jamal. I don't know how they get in contact with each other, but they're on the phone. And she's talking to him, and she tells him, after being in jail, that really made me feel like I really want to be with you right away when you get out. We want to get married right away. And Jamal's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this. That's what we're going to do. And then next thing you know, they're off the phone call, and Jamal has his confessional, and he says, yeah, that's not going to happen. We're not married as soon as we are not on the same page. So it's like, Jamal, why'd you lie? But I get why you lied, because Ayana's a live wire. She'd have gone off and went crazy, and she just got out. Don't really want to.
Because he can still get his commissary. He lied for the same reason Candace lied. It's jail talk. How do you not like? Here's the thing. Everybody that I know that's a stripper knows the game. You're not going to be one of those sex workers who's getting it in and then the person runs off, like what we just saw the other day from that football player. You got to be smarter than that. So the same way he's giving you jail talk, you should know, because these men that you are stripping for are giving you stripper talk. Like, they will tell you anything. Like, how is this man in her head? Where is her stripper code of ethics? You should be able to see the difference.
Well, the only reason I say that he lied this time specifically is because if you remember from the last time he spoke to her, that's when he went ahead and told her, hey, we're not on the same page. I'm not going to get married right when I get out. So this time he lied. The last time he didn't. He actually told her, like, that's not in my plans. So that's why I was thinking, okay, well, this time was a little bit different. He lied this time because of this circumstance, not that he's just been lying all along, because he didn't. He was very upfront and honest when he said, yeah, we're not. So I don't know. I don't know.
So does she have like one ex? So she has 2 children, right?
She does.
Are they by the same guy?
I don't know that. I doubt it.
She seems very male driven. Like, she seems like one of those girls who really just yearns for male energy all the time and attention.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Nettie says no, they're not by the same.
Oh, okay, good. I was right then. Yeah, I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure.
Real winners, Ayana. Some real winners.
So their season wrapped up. Ayana has her 4 years of probation, and Jamal is scheduled to be released at the end of this year. So we'll see if they get married right when she gets out. Now, hopefully this couple does go on to the next one, because I think that would be, entertaining to see them again. But again, they weren't on this last one, probably because he doesn't get out until the end of the year. But we'll see what happens.
I just don't like how she's subservient to him, or, kind of like puts on the pussycat for him. But you talk to your mom and your grandma real aggressive.
She was, I noticed how initially she calls her grandma. She's like, grandmother. And she says grandmother, like, that's what she calls her. And then all of a sudden, when the grandmother says she can't come, then she's calling her Gina, her name. All right, then, Gina. And it's like, you're asking Miss Gina for a ride.
And to pick up your child or children.
Right, because she's apparently been helping while you're in prison. She's been helping with the kids. So, well.
Miss Nettie says, I want to see this train next season. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
I do think they would be a good cast for the next season. You need a train wreck.
I agree. So next we have Joey and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So Joey is on his way to go see Michael in prison. He goes there with the mindset that this might be over. He needs to find out from Joey. He wants some reassurance. From Michael, that he wants some reassurance that he's okay, that he's going to be off drugs and everything's going to be good, right? And so he goes into the prison, and of course they can't bring the cameras or anything in there. So all we have to do is wait for him to come back and, tell us, summarize basically what happened between he and Michael. Mm-hmm. And so he gets out and he says, Michael, he got the reassurance that he needed, that he's ready to be off drugs, that this time is the last time, he's ready to be in this relationship, and he's really excited. Things are going to be wonderful. He actually shares a picture of the two of them. Here we go. A prison picture. Where's this backdrop? Like, why do they have a prison backdrop?
Ray had the same backdrop.
Right. Like, is this just a prison backdrop? They can't find anything more realistic than this. But anyway.
No, they're all like that. They're all like that.
Crazy. So yeah, so this is the picture they take, and he's happy, right? He's gotten the reassurance that he needs. He has this picture, and he's good to go. So then they go to Michael's confessional. And in the confessional, Michael says, it's hard to say if he's going to stay off drugs. He's tried, 4, 5, 6 times before, and he just can't say that he's going to be able to succumb and just, not be on drugs anymore. He doesn't know, right? He also says that monogamy is boring. He doesn't know if he'll be able to be in a monogamous relationship. So clearly, like you said, the lies. He lied to Joey the whole time, and told him what he wanted to hear. But in reality, this man is ready to drink and party and get it on when he gets out of prison. That's what he wants to do.
Also, isn't this also the one who said that he might have been there for 6 years?
Yes, he may have to be there for another 6 years. So they don't even know. And that's what they said. So they wrapped this story up, and they said that he's still waiting on the parole board decision. So we don't know what's going to happen with Joey and Michael. We know exactly what's going to happen. Either he's going to be in prison for 6 years, or he's going to get out, and he's definitely not going to be with Joey.
He looks like he's aging backwards. So is that not being on drugs? Has his face more full? Because he was looking kind of crackish on his mugshot.
I don't know. It could be.
Go back to the photo.
So this is the mugshot photo. His face is noticeably skinnier.
So is that what drugs do to you? Because he looks real crackish on this.
Yeah, drugs do age you and you lose weight. It's actually probably methish, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. You can go back to the other photo, the Shiva Sheree prison photo.
Not that it has a title.
The first time I saw that backdrop was on Sheree's prison bay photo shoot. And she put on a shirt that said wifey. So she is unemployed. She should probably go back to Love After Lockup. I'm sure she'll find another prisoner. Sheree from RHOA.
Oh, and then she could be on a new show?
Yeah, she needs the money.
They're not getting enough for Sheree. These people are making like next to nothing.
You never know.
So that was the end of Joey and Michael. They just kind of gave you a little bit of what's going on. They did follow up and say that Joey's mom is better. She made a full recovery. So that was good news about that.
Okay, yeah.
So next we're going to go to Rick and Samantha. Here we go, Rick and Samantha. So if you remember from the last show or the show prior to this, they were having some issues. They had gotten married and they were having, some quarrels, love quarrels. They were having over the phone where, Samantha was feeling like Rick was pulling away. Rick was feeling like Samantha was really in it for the money. And that's kind of where they ended off that show. Mm-hmm. This one starts where Rick is meeting up with his niece, Veronica. And she notices that he doesn't have his ring on and he's only been married for 6 weeks. So she's like, okay, hey, what's going on? So he tells her, I'm concerned about the finances. Samantha's not going to be able to contribute. And she's basically like, okay, I told you this. I told you this from the get-go. We knew this was going to happen. You didn't want to listen. Rick, you're a player. And she literally tells him, you're a player.
Who are these women? Like,
again, it's the women from the reunion. It's the women from high school.
Well, Rick then always been a catch. Okay.
Yeah. They've been dreaming about Rick all these years, and they don't care what Rick looks like now. They want Rick, right? So after they meet up, they have their conversation and talk. Fast forward, Rick is meeting up with a lawyer. So he wants to get a consultation for a divorce, right? He's considering divorcing Samantha. Samantha calls during this and she says to him, like, hey, I really want to know if we're going to be together. You know, I know that we've been having some issues and I really want to know if we're going to be together, if this is going to work. And Rick is hemming and hawing around. He's like, oh, I don't know. But Rick, clearly, you know that you don't want to be with this woman. You are at a divorce attorney. Like, you actually know that. You could have just told her, like, yes. But again, we're lying, right? She says she's heard rumors from other people that he was seeing old Sandy from the reunion.
They were probably spotted at Cheddar's. They were probably spotted at Cheddar's.
So yeah, that was kind of how they ended off. But in the end, Rick did file for divorce. Huh?
Sharing a buttered croissant at Cheddar's.
They were actually, they showed the end and Rick has filed for divorce and he's actually out with Sandy at some bar.
Drinking?
I don't think he was drinking. They didn't show him drinking.
Why would an addict go to a bar?
Well, I say it was a bar, but it may have been a restaurant / bar. They were, you know.
It was probably Cheddar's. It was probably Cheddar's.
So yeah, Rick filed for the divorce. I'm sure it's done by now. They're probably completely divorced and he has moved on. So there was no love after lockup for them.
Anytime you have a situation where somebody is in something like a prison, pen pal, marriage, relationship, whatever they have going on, and then you jump to the next person, that's probably something you need healing on. Like, the fact that you date like that and you jump is kind of weird to me. There's no break.
Rick is older. I think Rick is retired. And I think Rick just really wants some companionship. And I think he's going back to these girls in high school because he knows them. But I really do think that it's just, he wants companionship in his old age. He wants somebody that he can retire with and just kind of settle down and be it. Like, he's not looking for some young girl. He's looking for women around his age, right? Like, I think he just wants to settle down. He's used to being married, right? He was married before. And that's all I think he wants. Somebody who's low maintenance, who's not going to require too much money because he doesn't have any money.
And Sandy looks like she can probably bake.
Right.
Sandy's going to be cooking. But it's not going to be the wild party girl like Samantha.
I don't know, though. I don't know. Because, you know, Sandy, I think, probably is able to drink. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was drinking at the reunion. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Sandy's probably going to be his sugar mama.
Could be. Could be.
I would hate to see the people from my high school. I'm only like, maybe cool with 3 of them from high school.
You said you would hate to see them?
Yes. Let alone go back to dating somebody from high school.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, I'm on Facebook, so I see a lot of the, like, high school people from Facebook, but I don't really, like, you know, hang out with them or do anything. But all my very good friends are my high school friends. But as far as dating somebody from high school, nah, that probably wouldn't happen.
Good luck, Rick and Sam. Good luck in your new lives with your new people.
With your new people. So next we'll move on to Shante and True.
Your favorite.
My favorite. And guess what? I didn't pull his picture. I forgot to pull their picture up.
Well, if you don't know what Shante looks like, she got some big veneers. Right? She has big veneers.
She does. Oh man, I lost my picture. But anyway, I do have another picture of Shante, but I'll share that one in a minute after I tell the story a little bit. So Shante is actually meeting up with her friend. She's complaining or she's upset about the fact that she says that she normally has like maybe $50,000 in savings. And at this moment, she has less than $1,000 in her savings. And, you know, it's basically because of all of the moves and the changes that she's made for True. She's had to move. She's taking care of 2 houses, right? Because I guess she hasn't sold one of the houses yet. So she's having to pay 2 mortgages, you know, uproot the kids. She's paying for their cell phones. And then there's all the things that he's asking for. You know, he's asking for clothes. You know, he wants, you know, money, I'm sure, for his commissary. Like, he wants a lot from her. And she makes the comment that,
He wants everything from her except for coochie.
right. You know, he wants all this stuff from her. And her friend makes the comment that, you know, he acts more like a selfish teenager because he's always asking for stuff from her, you know. And this woman has teenage kids, I believe. So it's like, you know, what are you going to do adding another kid on? So she talks about the fact that I guess someone told on her at her job and she's now been demoted and she's no longer eligible for bonuses. And she got a pay cut because she's dating a prisoner. Now, this is my question. Because what job do you have that they demote you for dating someone who's in prison? Like, when does that come up?
I know she don't work for a church. You muted yourself. Oh, yeah, I know she don't work from a church. And she also said that she's now only making 26. So is that 26,000 or $26 an hour?
I think it was an hour. Put
her at $50,000 roughly a year, which would also put her as a single mother with a felon for a boyfriend and 2 children. None of this sounds great for a man who does not even like Black women.
Now, what I was going to say was that, you know, I wasn't sure what job she had, but someone said that she worked at Whataburger, right? Now, I couldn't really tell, but as I watched the show again,
if Whataburger has a morality clause,
to get a screenshot, because she is showing her work shirt right here. They have blurred out the name of it, but does that look like a Whataburger shirt to you? I can't tell.
Let me go to we're doing investigative reporter. Let me see. Whataburger manager uniform. It looks like the shirts are more blue and white.
See, it's a long name because you can see where it's blurred, but I could not tell what that was. I was like,
is it Popeyes?
Maybe.
It might be Popeyes. Let me see. Popeye. This is horrible. Popeyes uniform. Popeyes manager uniform.
And yes, Miss Net, you said you thought she worked fast food. That is a fast food shirt. I just can't tell which fast food restaurant that is.
Now the managers. Let me go back to the shirt. Hold on, let me see.
And I don't know if you can see it like very well, but there's like it's a picnic style. Like it looks like, you know, the picnic style on the shirt. It's not just orange, right?
I don't know, but I just feel like if you're in fast food, why would they have a morality clause?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I really wanted to pull up to the Whataburger and ask them, like, can you all date people in like who? First of all, who told on her? And then you get demoted. Like, it's not like you're promoting. Well, I guess so. Maybe you are.
No, Lane. Look, if this woman started talking about dating a prisoner and she's going to be on a show, that is something that the higher ups would need to know. Now, would they have the ability to demote you? I don't know that that's true, because that would seem like they would just let you go. So I'm thinking that some of her story sounds fishy.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I think the whole thing is really, really fishy, that they would take away your bonuses and demote you for this. I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. Like, I've never heard of anybody else in these situations. And we've seen people from all walks of life dating these prisoners, doing all sorts of different jobs, right? The fast food industry is not one that I thought that you would get a demotion for dating someone who's in prison.
No, it's probably encouraged. I was really, I had a fast food place I used to eat at like every day underneath where I worked. And I knew 2 of the girls there that were felons, and they moved up to management and everything else. Like, one of my good friends was a felon and moved up to management in at the post office. There is life after prison, but
Right, and I get
not
that.
for these assholes.
Yeah.
No, these are just the worst of the worst prisoners. They're just the worst of the worst. Oh, Miss Net and Autumn's mom are saying that they're hearing that she's a liar.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
I heard a lot of the stuff she said on the show is a lie. And then Tennessee says these people are paid in Amazon gift cards.
I can believe that too. They get next to nothing for this show. You are airing all your business, all your dirty laundry for nothing.
Like the other ones, like the 90 Day Fiance, weren't they making like about 60,000 per person or something like that?
For the whole season, what do they do? Like maybe 2,000 an episode or something. I mean, it's pretty like low compared to Bravo.
Magnolia said one of my old law professors famously dated and married a prisoner. Was her name Phaedra Parks? Because it happens. Autumn's mom says people also did research and found out she doesn't and has never owned any property.
I did see that too. The house that she was claiming that she purchased was actually like a rental property,
which would negate everything that she said about holding down 2 homes, draining her bank account.
And the $50,000 that you had in savings, right? Like that's a whole lot of money to have in savings working in fast food industry with the kids that you have. Like that's a lot. And if you were demoted down to 50,000,
I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her because she puts on a brave face, but anytime you have people telling you basically you're not attractive and the person that you want to be with doesn't even find people who look like you attractive, it really is sad. Most of these situations have been pretty sad.
I agree. I feel bad for her. Again, going back to, the things that she had been through previously that she talked about on the episode prior to this, and then even being with this man who, doesn't think that you are a beautiful woman. He doesn't think that she's pretty. He can't, because that's not what he goes for. That's not what he's attracted to. So it's kind of like, I'm with you for money. And one thing that she said when she was talking to her friend was that when the money runs out, so does the love. So she didn't want to tell True that she was demoted at her job because she thinks that he's not going to be supportive of her, and probably that he's not going to be with her anymore if he thinks that she can't buy him things.
Side note, I don't like when people give you their hourly rate of pay.
As opposed to like the yearly?
I don't like when people tell you how much they make.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I mean, in real life, no, but in this situation, I like kind of hearing what she was saying. So it lets me gauge what she was, talking about and how much she had in the bank. And, because I'm putting it in perspective. You're telling me that you were demoted to this much. You were probably making just a little bit more than this, right? And then you had 50,000 in savings. I don't know.
I feel really bad for her. Probably more so than I feel. I feel really bad for Garden Gnome first, and then she's a second. Because these people are literally on television making you look really, really bad. And everybody's going to see this, and your children are going to see this, and you just look dumb.
Her more so than Garden Gnome because of the children, right? She does have children involved in this. So, yeah, I would feel more sorry for her.
Yeah, hopefully Garden Gnome's child looks like the mom.
Right. Well, I don't know. If he's picking them like Candace, if that's his type.
I really do feel bad for her. Out of all of these people, I really do feel bad for her because you're playing on her insecurities. Like you're doing this to her. You're making her think you like her. And no matter if she had $50,000 or $50 and she spent the majority of her money that she could have spent on her kids on you, it's a really bad situation all around. And the money that she's making from the show is not going to cover probably what she spent on this man that don't want her.
Absolutely not. And she's buying him things like tennis shoes and clothes. And it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
But we do get to see them again next season. They are the only couple that's going to be on the next season of Love After Lockup. So True finally gets out and they're still together. So we're going to see what happens in their relationship.
Hopefully she takes all the money.
Well,
as soon as they're off the show, he's going to be gone.
Well, even if he leaves her, whatever the case may be, as long as they don't stay together and he doesn't continue to use her, she'll be better off, right?
Right. What are they in Oklahoma?
I don't know. Oh, Miss Nett says she lives near Independence, where she's currently living. So what is that Independence? What state is that, Miss Nett?
Is it like Missouri?
She says felons don't care about using. Yeah, they don't care about using people. You're absolutely right.
Because if it is Whataburger in Missouri,
she said open near Independence, but I don't know what state. Missouri.
As far as I know, like Whataburger's in Louisiana and Texas, and in certain parts of Georgia.
She said
Whataburger's in Missouri.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she is. I don't know. Maybe she is. I just feel bad for her. That's all I can say. I just really feel bad for her, and this picture that you chose is not helping. She looks worried and a little, constipated, and Oh,
and that what all did you get? That's him asking. What all did you get? Like, meaning, what did she buy at that point?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna be a trick, I guess. And if you're okay with being a trick, there's nothing wrong with that. But she's over here complaining about money, so that's the problem. Miss Nett, do you like Whataburger? Is the question. Anyway,
Whataburger was our spot.
So okay, this was the end of the season. What do you have happening next? What do you think? What direction you're going? You're going to review another show?
I am. I'm probably going to do some current events and current topics, some hot topics. Mm-hmm. I may do some more shows because I enjoy doing the shows. So I'm going to pick out some of the ones that I'm watching. Okay, I started doing a roommate, but
somebody said you should review that.
Huh?
Somebody said you should review that.
Yeah, so I may do an inmate to roommate. I'm definitely going to do the new season of Love After Lockup when it comes out again. So
that was nice. Tamika Scott's dad just hit me up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, we're good friends. No, I interviewed him a while back, and we just stayed in touch.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm glad he's doing well. He's having some health issues. All right. Well, I enjoyed this, although I didn't really watch the show before reviewing this with you. Again, these people make me feel better about myself.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing it with me. And thank you guys for watching and joining in. See you next time.
Really quick. Ms. Nett has not tried it yet. So maybe on one of my shows, Ms. Nett, I will do a Whataburger gift card for you. So just remind me.
Yeah.
We're going to get you on Whataburger. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.